Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bogoteka. As a member of the government, will tell you some of the arguments that suggest or support this motion that this house believes that feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry. But first, I will review the first to the deputy leader of the opposition that say that K-pop industry does not care about the beauty standard. Okay, if they don't care, why made it at first place and why promote it at first place? Why media only represent the proper standard of the beauty itself? So the K-pop industry is at very first place in 2005. It's promoting the music video or advertisement that showing the beauty standard itself. And why, if you don't care about the beauty standard, that why still keeping until now? And if you the K-pop industry only supporting or only care about demand and the rating itself, let's talking about the supply and demand itself. The supply and demand is we have to look back at what the demand is created. A demand about this case is created by lifestyle, and what the made that trigger a lifestyle itself is what that become popular at the time. And what become popular at the time, they would tend to follow the lifestyle and so on. So indirectly, the K-pop industry care about their beauty standard. They care about everything related to the beauty standard, and indirectly, it care. It really care, and it more like a chain that needs to be broken because there are so many side effects that caused by beauty standard itself. For example, physical disease that caused by beauty standard. People who follow the beauty standard will try die hard to achieve that the standard that they represent or they see, like Korean beauty standard or K-pop beauty standard, like thin skin, white skin, thin body, white skin, or maybe dyed hair, etc. But so they people tend to follow the beauty standard no matter what, and by that mean they sometimes don't consider about the side effect that caused by the beauty standard itself, such as anorexia. People who try to achieve a thin body as soon as possible or as dark as they can will maybe try a supplement or maybe sleeping product or maybe some kind of it, and it can be led to the anorexia disease, which is a disease that the person have disadvantages in digestive system, which they eat and showing back again to maintain the body of the person. And the number two is skin disease, like such as skin cancer and or some. Okay, people try to follow having a white skin just like a K-pop beauty standard, and they try to their best to having their so-called white skin. So they will try to every product that claiming can be brightening, whitening, and etc. But they didn't see that it can have a side effect, which is skin cancer. So indirectly, the beauty standard is harmful to every to the person itself. And why we only focusing on the K-pop? Like there are so many beauty standards from the Western, such as Kardashian family or some, because K-pop industry is the most famous musical industry in the world. People already know it. The K-pop industry had a big standard, which leads to the point number three is the audience. The K-pop, one of the K-pop target is a younger people, and one of the younger people is teenager. Teenager is sometimes being indecisive, which is good or not. And by that means, teenager that looking for the idol, we say, okay, our idol is just like this. Oh, it's having beauty standard that says, I want to be my idol. I want to be like her, or maybe want to be like him. So they will try this. We will try hard to achieve that beauty standard, but because of their indecisive, they still don't know which is good and which is bad. So it can be led to the number two itself, which is a physical disease. And number four is social disadvantage. We can see there are so many disadvantages such as bully or maybe such as self-harm that caused by beauty standard. It is already clear that the beauty standard is not so good for people mental and people's social life and so forth. And the number five, the good, if we still keeping the industry is like maintaining the beauty standard just like this, it will create a big impact. That is, the good role can be defeated with the beauty standard. So for example, there are many people that having a good role. Maybe they are having such a good achievement, or maybe set a good example, etc. But because of the high beauty standard, and maybe some of the people the good role doesn't have it, they won't be considered as a role anymore, because people are more tend to look at the beauty standard and glorify this as the most precious standard that they have, rather than the good role that already people can literally inspiring people. So by that means, I, as a member of the government, and we as the closing government, agree about this motion that this house believes that feminist movement should aggressively oppose this K-pop industry. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Me as the government, I will like to summarize about this debate that actually, and I propose that the motion that the feminist movement should aggressively oppose the K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to summarize from the government side and also the opponent side. I would like to summarize all of it into my argument, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to summarize is that the beauty standard is the main problem after all, ladies and gentlemen, because feminism, we must know that the feminism will be fading away if we did not oppose aggressively about this K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. In this K-pop industry, there will be the more high standard of beauty that will cause more problem, ladies and gentlemen. It will cause a superiority of woman, not equality anymore. We forgot about the feminism anymore, ladies and gentlemen. If we did not oppose aggressively about this K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We must know that feminism in this era has been defied by the K-pop industry because there is K-pop that promoting the high beauty standard, and as the opponent said that the beauty standard is for entertainment only. Meanwhile, the feminism is about standing equality between sexes in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It means the feminism makes women equal with men in this world, ladies and gentlemen, such as a woman can be a fireman or a firewoman, and then woman can be a policewoman, and then woman can be a grandmaster in chess, woman can be a lawyer, and etc. Ladies and gentlemen, so we must we must remember that feminism, ladies and gentlemen, is about standing equality, not now thinking about how beauty we are in the public, ladies and gentlemen. We know what the woman must pursue about feminism. Importantly, is about social position, political position, all about equality in the society, not about the beauty, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, the K-pop we know, as the government side talking about in the first place, that this K-pop industry is only promoting about how beauty standard can be a movement for feminism, ladies and gentlemen. But we must know that the beauty standard is not a feminism movement anymore, ladies and gentlemen, because we know that a lot of people, a lot of women that came from 1941, even in 1811, where the first lawyer is came, is not thinking about the beauty standard, ladies and gentlemen. They're thinking about how the woman can be equal in the face of the public, can be equal with the man. A lot of women is struggling with this feminism, ladies and gentlemen, not about their beauty standard, not about their beauty, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, this K-pop industry only giving us about how beauty standard must pursue by a woman, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, with this high beauty standard, it makes a woman forget to pursue the main goal of the feminism, and the opposition talking about supply and demand, and what the government member and my partner talking about, that this supply and demand was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, uh the K-pop industry creating a demand for those young women who need figure, and then give them a supply by giving those young women a high beauty standard, and that is such a wrong supply for those young women, ladies and gentlemen. The demand for the young woman is the demand for the from the young woman that we must need to supply is a good role, is a good effect for those young women who want to be a feminist, ladies and gentlemen. What we need is a new chain supply by cutting the chain supply from the K-pop industry that give the demander wrong supply about the feminism. They just monopolize it about they just monopolize the supply by giving those feminism demander by giving them a high beauty standard, not a good role, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why by cutting the supply, we did oppose aggressively to the K-pop industry, and that is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. We must know we must remember that feminism is about equality between sexes in all status in the society, not just about beauty. Feminism needs someone who give a right supply for them, and there is a lot of people that can give a good supply, a new supply that the those young women, the feminism people can take, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot of inspiring women. They don't care about the how beauty they are. They just thinking about their educational status, their educational need, their political need, their social need, to pursue the main goal of the feminism, that all sexes is all sexes is equal in the public, in the social, ladies and gentlemen. As the government speaker before me that stated that there is a lot of disadvantage if we are not opposed aggressively in K-pop industry for feminism in the future, such as a socialist advantage and a physical disadvantage. What we must care about this disadvantage is a socialist advantage, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a lot of social jealousy, and there will be a lot of trust issues, and then there will be a lot of socialist advantage if we did not oppose aggressively about this K-pop industry. Because if we maintain this K-pop industry as the role model for the feminism, it will cause a lot of socialist advantage rather than I have been stated, ladies and gentlemen, because because the K-pop industry giving a supply that wrong for the demander, that the demand itself is the feminism, and then there is a lot of physical disadvantage because this wrong role model given by the K-pop industry. Anorexia is one of the example, and then there is a lot of things that depression, and then OCD, and then a lot of physical disadvantage and social disadvantage if we maintain that the K-pop industry should be should be a role model, should be a good role model, and we must cut the chain and supply between the feminism and the K-pop industry, and giving them a good supply for the demander, that the demander itself is the feminism, ladies and gentlemen. And the most importantly, we will lose a true meaning of feminism. We will lose a lot of hard work by the woman in the past, by the woman in this era, in this time. There's a lot of women who fight for the feminism, who fight for feminism will being a good meaning, not just a beauty, but it is about the equality between sexes in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And as the government, I will like to agree with this motion where feminism must approach aggressively K-pop industry and the opposition is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.